Hello everybody and a very good afternoon. Welcome along to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby. Thanks for joining us for launch day. It's been a bit of a different day today, hasn't it, already? Hopefully you guys tuned in for our very special Love Your Craft show earlier on. If you missed that, of course, you can go back and watch. We had a fun time this morning. I feel a bit exhausted after that show, actually. All of the fun that was going on, all the crafting that we were doing. But we still have got two fantastic shows for you. And it kind of is going to be two shows where we're going to be focusing on this brand new launch from Sheena. We are so super excited about it. It's the Garden Visitors, and you guys are going to absolutely love it. Well, I say you're going to love it. You are already absolutely loving it because the official launch is now. Loads of you have already been buying this collection. The showstopper has been so incredibly busy, and I'll take you all around that in just a few moments' time. And normally what I would say is, if you're going for the collections, you know, take your pick, see wherever your budget lies. But today I'm going to insist that you go for the showstopper, because not only do you get all of that brand new collection, but I think you get one of the best showstoppers, value for money wise, that we've ever done. More on that in just a bit. Also, of course, you'll know it is our Love to Craft event over on the website. We continue to bring you amazing deals, and today we're focusing on colouring. So what you will find is if you go to the Love Your Craft page, you will find a little further drop down box which gives you loads of great deals on all things colouring. We've already covered off things like embossing folders, multimedia and tools. Those little subsections are all there for you, but we've now added that little colouring subsection for you too, and all of those will stay on the website for you up until the end of play on Sunday. Lots of hellos to do, but let's do the most important hello of the show. She is back, and she is back with what I think is, it's only my opinion, you can share your opinions on the socials, I think this is the best collection that you brought to us, Sheena. I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing.
Oh, cheers, Ben. Good to be back.
It's nice to have you back, man.
I've been like twiddling my thumbs. I've been at a loose end.
Oh.
And I'm back here, and I'm a happy little camper again.
Is this your first day back?
First day back in ages. You know what it feels like? You know when you're at school in the summer holidays and you've been away for ages.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you go, yeah, and it feels weird at first. Then it's like, takes 5 minutes to go, yay, I'm back. So yes.
Well, it's lovely to have you back. And this collection, I know we'll have a look at the boards and the cards with you in just a second. It's very different, isn't it? And some very, I mean, we're going to meet all of the garden visitors, some very different visitors in this collection as well.
Mm-hmm. There are. They're not your typical, if you think you're going to see a butterfly in this collection, you will be mistaken. You're saying.
Yeah. Well, it is a collection that I think you're going to absolutely love. You've got so much within it, and one of my favourite characters in the collection, who you will meet in just a few moments' time with Sheena. I will take you through all the mathematics and say a few hellos, and then we'll get into it with Sheena. We've got Superstar Susie, Rachel on the socials. We've got Carol Guy already with us saying it's Wednesday. Yay! Sheena Wednesday. Yay! Kendall says good morning from Minnesota. Debbie Durrant says hello.
Deborah
Durant. Hello, you lovely lot. Hello also to Rosalind, who says hello from Maryland. Hello to Melanie D. Sandra Dundas says hi, Ben, Sheena, CTV crew, social media superstars, and all my crafty, chatty chums. We have got Nicola producing this afternoon, and we have also got Jamie in the chair, pressing the ones and twos. Boop, 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 boop. Sherry Miller. Hello, magnificent Sheena.
Oh, what?
And amazing Ben.
Oh, well, there you go. Magnificent and amazing. Where do you go from there?
Well, I know. This new set will be forever one of my favourites.
Oh, see what you did then.
Carolyn Wilson says, back again from Florida. The last show was fabulous, and I love Sheena and her talent. Hi also to Sandra Dundas, Carletta Morris. Sarah Brown says, hello, Sheena and Ben, sending you both hugs from Melbourne, Australia.
G'day.
Gail Moore says good morning, checking in from Maryland, and yes, I'm excited. And Mary Beth Dawes says hi everyone, joining from Minnesota. Christy Mahoney, hello to you. This collection is amazing. The value for money you're going to get is incredible. Let me just tell you about the Showstopper collection. I will reference the fact that you can get the collection on its own if you want, but what I want to tell you is just get the Showstopper. Just get the Showstopper, because the value is insane. For £100 on the nose, or $120, you get all of your brand new garden visitors, stamps, dies, stencils, the lot, which Sheena will show you on boards in just a few moments' time. But you've got the cute fox in there. You've got the squirrel. I love the names. Oh, by the way, you're going to love the stamps that go with these too. And you'll get a bit of an idea as to what the sentiments are like when I tell you that the squirrel is called Nuts About You.
I do like, yeah.
The rabbit is called Bee Hoppy. The owl you're going to get, You're a Hoot. Hey? And this one is my little favourite. Take it easy, because it's a snail and it's just going to go really slow. Anyway, you're getting all of that in there. Foliage swell stencil set. You've got Have a Mice Day, the mouse, and then you've got your Wild Thing.
It's sophisticated, isn't it? It's a brain puzzler. You probably, yes, it is. It's not the Enigma code.
No, I love it though. It's right up my street. You're also going to get, I think, one of the most useful floral frames that you're ever going to pick up within this set. Now, Sheena will, as I say, take you through this in more detail, but the showstopper, right, and I can't believe I'm saying this, for an extra £5 or $10, which takes you to this price, you're going to get 60 sheets of card. Pretty good, right? Multi-purpose card, that's pretty good. 5, 10, but here's the kicker. Also, within the showstopper, you're paying an extra £5 or $10. Wait, the what the? You're going to get yourself your tin of Aquablend pencils in the portrait colours. These are like 25 quid, aren't they? Normally. $24.99 or $29.99, you are paying an extra £5 or $10 for all of that within the showstopper. The only bad news is people have cottoned on to the fact that this is such a great deal, and 10% of the showstopper has already gone, so go swiftly. But we've not even looked in detail yet at the amazing garden visitors, so let's have a look at them all with the creator herself of this amazing collection, the lovely Sheena. Show us what you got.
Cheers, Ben. Right, so I'm thinking garden visitors. Now, I have to say they're not all the garden visitors that everybody will have experienced, because Sherry Miller, I know I don't have a bear in this collection. She had a bear in the garden. A bear.
A bear?
Oh, a bear.
What,
yeah.
Is it like a grizzly bear?
A proper big bear.
A big bear?
Big bear, yeah.
Wow.
So we've gone a little bit smaller. So we're starting off with this little guy here, this little field mouse there with the blossom. Oh, isn't he cute?
He's
hanging on the blossom
cute.
there.
Yeah.
And you've got things like, have a mice day. From our mouse to yours. Do you see that? You see?
Yeah, I love it.
And hang in there. Now, if you need me to explain those at any point, I'm happy to do that. So we've got the mouse, and then we've got the squirrel. I love the way, you know, having lived in America, I love the way you guys say squirrel. Squirrel.
Squirrel?
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. It's better than like squirrel. Sounds a bit like, you know, a bit more difficult the way we say it.
They have lots
But
of
you've got
squirrels
things
in
like
America.
Squirrel.
Are there lots
yeah,
of
they have squirrels.
lots of squirrels,
yeah. Mostly grey squirrels, isn't it?
Grey squirrels?
Grey ones, yeah. But you've got nuts about you.
Yes.
And hey there, hello Petal, and you're my kind of nuts. There you go.
I love it.
I'll turn that. If I turn it round, you can see this guy coloured in, but the top bit, because it's landscape, you'll see the amount of detail in there. There's lots. So here's a tip, right? If you just want to do a quicker card and think, right, don't have the time to do all the colouring. If you love colouring, these are for you. If you want to do a quicker card, stamp it in a water reactive ink, bit water. Yeah, done.
Nice.
Nice one. So then we've also got the fox. He's
Wild
foxy.
Thing.
Yeah. Born to be wild. I'm singing that in my head, Ben.
Yeah.
What's that? Let your dreams blossom.
Nice.
Happiness blooms from within. And Wild Thing.
Ba-dum.
He makes me heart sing.
He makes everything groovy.
That's the fox. You can see where the show's going to go, can't you? It's a worrying sign already.
This is my fave.
Oh, Brian. Brian, if you grew up with a magic roundabout, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it had to be Brian, didn't it? It had to be
Yes.
Brian. But the idea here is you're thinking, well, they've got flowers all over them. The idea is they're in your garden. You don't know they're there most of the times. You know, we've got a squirrel that, and I always think of the Mission Impossible theme whenever he runs across the fence and dun, 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 dun. And he's like so fast, and he look, and I go, oh, and he's off again. But sometimes, most of the time, you don't know, but they're there because they're part of their environment. They're kind of perfectly camouflaged. And, you know, Brian, he's not up for speed, is he? He's not. It's a bit like me. You know, if I was any of these, I think I'd be Brian.
Would you?
Yeah, without having a sloth in the collection, it's got to be Brian.
And I really do think that the floral shell sort of suits you as well.
Shell, exactly. Yeah. And Brian was built on around a real snail that we befriended out on one of our holidays in the van.
You befriended a snail?
We befriended a snail. It was a big snail. He was sat there for ages. We got loads of pictures, and I thought, he's really cool. He was massive. Yeah, so Brian was based on that. And then we've got the owl. People love owls. So male, female, young, old, and again, you're awesome.
You're awesome.
You are awesome.
Is that what it says at the top?
That's the one
brilliant.
There. Yeah.
You are awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And you're a hoot.
You're a hoot.
You're a hoot. A hoot. So you've got the owl, and obviously the stamps and dies, and these are photopolymer. I haven't even told you that yet. What am I lying?
Wow, wait.
You got the bunny. People love a little bunny, don't they? With the flowers, part
Cute.
of the bunny. And be sensational. Got to pick that one out there. And then you've got all these little guys, and then what you've got are the dies that are the kind of a spirit of the animal. This is the kind of a wireframe, very fine loop, just circle die there that these guys sit inside of. So it gives them some context. It gives them a kind of a place for you to put them there. And all these little flowers are separate dies and stamps with the wording there as well for you, so everything's thought of. But then you might want to have a play with some stencils for your background, and why not? And the idea here is that I've given you as much value for money as I can. You've got the funky swirls. Now this swirl started out as a freehand sketch on one of my journals I had. If I remember to bring it in one time, I'll show you. And I just had fun just swirling. I thought, well, that would look cool as a stencil. So that's how that started. But I added the dots because then you might want to layer it up. You know, they look better when they're layered, don't they? So there's kind of more than one image.
Like a twofer, isn't it?
It looks, yeah, it just more interest, Ben. And then we've got the leaf fest here. It's a relative jungle there, but swirlies as well, so you can layer those up as well. And then we've also got swirls and the leaves, different like swags and different configurations. So this could be a tall DL. So all you're going to do is take a bit of masking tape and mask off the bits you don't want to catch when you stencil. And all you're going to use is something perfect like your water reactive ink pads, and they're going to create your backgrounds. Would you like to see some inspiration?
Yes, please. Come on.
Fabulous. So let me take you through some of these. Well, I'll put them back there, then you can see better. So I'm just going to go through them. And if I spot a name on the back, I'm going to shout out. So this is Julie's. This is, how cool is that? So look at that background created with those stencils. Everything on there. If you keep to a basic, keep to a colour scheme, and you know what? That set of pencils that you're going to get with this this collection.
Yeah.
You might think portrait, they're all going to be like shades of brown. They're not. You've got browns, you've got blacks, you've got reds, you've got all colours in there. Who's that? It's got no name on it, so I can't show you. Look at that, psychedelic Brian. Isn't he great? He's out on the town Brian there, purple Brian, love him. How cool is he? But look, I think this might be Julie's. I think it might be. I don't know if I'm wrong. Team, shout up. But it's that fab with the swirls and everything on the background. And so you can go larger cards, you can go smaller cards, we can go smaller again. We're going to get smaller with them. But everything on here, the background, you want it more muted, they're going to be on there. You just take your colours, schemes down. Whatever you want to, whatever the colour scheme, and look a bit of stenciling through your stencil with a bit, if you use glycerin, you know, with your applicator, and your stencil, take your stencil away and put your embossing powder on, you can do that effect. You don't even need to use your embossing ink pads. We might, if we get a chance, do that at some point. Yeah. But I've told you now, that's it. And we've got the owl again. There you go. So see how the circle's been made to create an oval?
Yeah.
Squirrel. And then smaller format cards. And then another fox. And then another mouse. There you go. And then we've got more. I love that background. Look at that. How cool is that?
Cool.
Isn't that cool? So that's what you can do. Those effects with these stencils. So you're going to have loads of playing.
And I think, again, you know, obviously Sheena's going to go into depth and show you loads of ideas and hints and tips, but making your own backgrounds. But again, think about all the papers that we've released recently, which I think will just work perfectly alongside all of these garden visitors. Safe to say, the comments are just so excited right now. Good afternoon. It says Wendy, looking forward to this show. Laurie's in from Gilbert, Arizona. Tracy Harris says good afternoon to Sheena and Ben. So excited for this launch. Rhonda is in. Pat's in from New Jersey. Hi also to Marianne Rosie says, we mostly have brown squirrels in Edmonton. Bonnie's in saying, we have white squirrels.
White? Ooh,
White
I've never
squirrels.
seen a white squirrel.
I haven't.
Ooh.
Are they covered in snow, did you just say them? In white, Jamie? Well, maybe they are. Bonnie, if you have any pictures of white squirrels, you need to send this in. No, we just have the red and the grey ones here, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
More greys now, I think, than red. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought the reds came in and...
We did. I think red were native to this country, and then the greys were introduced. And I think there must have been a little bit of a squirrel rumble.
Ah.
And the grey ones were a bit tougher.
So, and like drove the reds.
Yeah.
Out of town. I was the same as you, Nicola. I thought the reds were the baddies. Beth says
But
we
I might
have
be wrong.
red and grey. I mean, squirrel walls. Who knew?
Yeah.
I have grey squirrels in my yard, and now we have black squirrels, says
Wow.
Christine. Can we start can we start a Christine gallery? Can we start a squirrel gallery?
Yeah,
is what I meant to
really.
say. Pictures of squirrels, please. Lillian says, hi everyone, Ben and Sheena, good to see you back. And what an amazing collection. We have some healthy grey, brown and black squirrels, says Rosalind, that drive my dogs nuts.
Ah,
See what you did there?
I like it.
Stephanie says, a sloth would be awesome. Is that going to be maybe in Garden Visitors Part 2?
Could be, depending on where your garden is. Not so much in the Evesham area. And I know Newcastle didn't have them either.
No.
But you know, we're global company.
Well, exactly right. Debbie says, the stencils are my faves. The cards are amazing, says Stephanie. Amanda says, fantastic samples from the DT.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Laurie says, love the purple Brian, and the disco snail was Julie Temperton, is what we've just been told.
That's right.
Stencils look fabulous. Hello from Sunny Wiki Watchy, says Kimberly Fisher. Beautiful collection, Sheena, says Nanny to the girls. And hello, Ben and Sheena, says Colin Passardi from Florida. Oh, here we go. Kimberly Fisher says, we have monkey squirrels in Florida.
Monkey squirrels. I can't even get my head around what that must look like.
No.
Do they like hang upside down instead of like running along the branches?
Do you know what's in my head? All I've got now is like a squirrel body with a monkey head on it.
A monkey head.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what's in my mind.
That's more horror film stuff.
Revenge of the Monkey Squirrels. I'm so happy to have Sheena back on our screen, says Evelyn. And hi to Nanny to the girls, who says, beautiful collection, Sheena, as always. Shall we dive into this? What I will tell you is that the Showstopper is really, really popular. So many of you have already bought it. You're going to have to be quick. We have a little over 100 of the Showstoppers now remaining. I'll keep you up to date with the count as it goes down, but it was one of those things that you can probably understand why. I mean, for goodness sake, we're giving away Acroban pencils and cardstock for an extra £5. So that's why we don't have huge stocks of these. But just over 100 of the Showstopper remaining. Get whilst you can, and you're going to get the best value for money. Oh, the monkey squirrels are a thing, says Susie. We used to see them at the golf course by my house, but nowhere else. Pictures of squirrels, please. Monkey squirrels and white squirrels, preferably. Let's get over to Sheena, though, and get ready for this first demo. Which of the animals are you going to start with?
We're going to start with the little mouse, the little field mouse on the blossom. But I did want to just point out one thing quickly for you. What I was mentioning about how to make things more streamlined and quicker if you want to make a more speedy version of the card, or if you haven't got every colour yet in your collection. This was the original card by Sharon. Sharon Gould on my team created this card for me. And I did a version here just so that you could see, if you just take two, everything is coloured in with just those two water reactive ink pads, so Midnight and Damson, and the whole card, so using the same layout, the same everything in there, but look at how different they look, but both equally as cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, depending on how you want to go with it, that was just a little extra there for you.
Nice.
So I'll pop those two little Alsom cards over there, and I'll not remember all of them, but but nice to see you.
Nice.
There you go, it's a pussy bonus. You love that. That was like on a plate, wasn't it, for you, Ben? So this is the one that we're going to concentrate on. But we're going to do a little bit different, because I'm going to take the colour a little bit paler in the background. But this one was created by Debbie, and I'm going to. It's a great card just to show you on the basic concept how everything fits together.
Yes.
So the first thing we're going to do is this is the set that we're going to start stamping with, and in there you've got inspiration on the front, which is fabulous. And remember that There's always inspiration. Crafters sites as well as the inkettes. So Sheena's inkettes, all of the cards you see on the show today, if you want to see them again next year, the year after, whenever, they'll all be there. So don't think that when you get them out again, if you have a break, you come back and you think, I've got no inspiration anymore. There will be inspiration there. So that's where to just join. So the first thing we're going to do is to, again, remind you that these are photopolymer. Now, when you take these off here, you're going to be like, what? It's a bit like strength training. You're going to take some, But that's what you're paying for, guys. You're paying for the top quality, the kind of the dream material for stamping.
Absolutely.
It used to be rubber. You know, rubber was durable. When you draw a lot of detail, as I clearly do in the images, you need a better that acrylic can be a little bit, it doesn't hold as much detail. And when you press, sometimes it can squidge and you get like a distorted line. You know, it's softer, it's more pliable, and it doesn't hold the detail as well. But rubber, you can't see through. But photopolymer, you got the best of all worlds. But there is a cost there, but we haven't brought that over to you. Leanne amazingly has kept that right down so that we're not passing it on.
That's it.
So what I've got is I've now got a waterproof die, and I love that in the finesse, it actually it's not cryptic like me jokes and my words there. They're not thinkers. It actually says waterproof die. So you know that's the one you want, because we're going to colour this guy in using the pencil set in the collection. So I'm just inking this up now, and I've gone with the rocker block. So you could go with your magnetic repositionable, you could go whatever your choice of stamping, mechanical thing is. I'm going for a rocker block because it's the quickest hit I can do. And if I can do a good image with a rocker block, like I say, it's quick, it gets the job done, and that's how cool rocker blocks are if you haven't tried them. You know, so if you think you need the repositionable one, if you're a little bit like thinking, but remember, if you use like the multi-purpose card or the watercolour card, there's another side to it as well. So, you know, if it doesn't print out right first time, just turn it over. So the next thing I'm going to cut this out before we colour it. I think we shall. So I'm going to take my die, which comes with it, and I'm going to put this over here like this, and just put that around there. So I'm doing a little bit of like target practice. So what I'm looking at is to make sure that I have everything within that little halo that's going to go around that little guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a bit of my low tack tape, and I'm going to anchor that down, and then we're going to pop it through. You know what? New machine to me, Ben. We're going to use the Gemini MIDI.
Oh, my fave.
Well, I haven't used it yet, and I have got to tell you, I had to ask lovely Debbie. I went, Debbie, I get to play with the MIDI today.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got one yet, but I want one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why I want one when we do it.
All the cool cats use them, Sheena.
Sorry?
All the cool cats use the MIDI.
I want to be one of the cool kids. I've never been a cool kid.
Well, you will be when you start using the MIDI.
And she said, it's great, you just got a folder.
That's it.
So you haven't got to look for your maths or think what the sandwich is. It's like, it's a folder.
Yeah.
So you get that with the machine. So this guy's going to go in there, and even the circle, it's all going to fit in this. We tried it before the show.
It's simplicity without the electricity.
Oh, I like it. Simplicity without the electricity.
Yes, Sheena said my catchphrase.
I like it, because I have to tell you as well, I've been watching, you know, we get like trends of shows and everything. I'm watching every show that's based in Alaska right now. In fact, I've watched them all. So I'm thinking of off-grid living. So if you so you'd be fine. If you're off-grid, with your MIDI.
Oh yeah, I think last time I saw you, we were chatting about, is it Naked, Afraid and Alone or something?
Oh, that was a different one. We've done all of those, Naked and Afraid, and there's Naked, Afraid, Alone, but we've done Alaskan Bush People, we've done The Last Frontier, Alaska, The Last Frontier, there's the Rainey family who fix the homesteads in Alaska. I need to go to Alaska now. Just saying, if anybody's from Alaska, I really want to go to Alaska.
And Sheena will arrive with her MIDI.
With me MIDI.
Ready to craft.
We'll do a bit of like crafting in the snow.
Yeah.
And it'll all be great, just saying. I lived in California for, 3.5 years. But, and we did go to the mountains, like in Mammoth Mountain, and that was lovely. You know?
Mammoth Mountain?
Look, and it's all, so here's why I want this.
Okay.
You don't always want to get your big machine out and plug it in. This is the one that'll stand on the desk all the time. because it's taking hardly any room up, but it's got such a wide pass through that there's very few dyes that won't go through there.
6x9 it is, isn't it?
See, so
Yeah.
it's like, why would you need to like go bigger if this does the job?
Yeah.
And again, footfall, and it's really easy to lift up because I'm a wimp.
I love the fact that Sheena's joined the Cool Cats MIDI Club. That is a club that we've just invented, but now Sheena likes it. We are going to... Who's in the Cool Cats MIDI Club? Let me know. Yes.
But look how cleanly it's cut as well. And that is, actually I'm using both cards. I'm using the watercolour card and the all-purpose, the multi-purpose card.
Yeah.
So, and if that is 300 GSM card and it cuts through that cleanly, I am a happy camper and want for nothing more. My life is complete. So we've got that little guy there, and I think we need to do a bit of colouring now, Ben.
Yes, we do.
So we'll bring in the watercolour pencils now. Here's the thing, I love water-based colouring products. Yeah, I do. It's just I've never like been subtle about that, because all you need is usually one dark shade of something, and then water in various amounts to get the shade in. Yeah. So where you want it darker, you put less water. If you want a lighter version of that colour, you put a bit more water. So what I'm looking at here, let me show you this set that you're going to get with this collection.
Yeah.
I thought when you think of this set being called Portrait Collection, like skin's pretty much limited in the range of colours. So we'll have a darker brown, a lighter brown, and then to me, Nosferatu white. Yeah?
Nosferatu white.
So, I wasn't going to be too, I wasn't expecting, the bar wasn't too high. Yeah. But in here, look, we've got gorgeous pinks I'm going to use. Look, let me bring this down here, because that's where that's the business end of the pencil. This is the quick reference, but this is what you're going to get, guys. And saying that, it's not really, because the colour's going to burst more when we add water. But you've got gorgeous pinks and reds. We've got yellows in there, and we've got blues. So primaries represented, big tick. That means you can basically mix any colour. Yeah. And guess what? You've got a black, you've got a grey. If you're only going to get one set of pencils, this is fantastic. It's just a good set to have. Just a one set does all.
Yeah, and you're getting in the showstopper.
And you're getting in the showstopper.
For a fiver.
So let me show you what I mean about intensity of colour, right? Let's start with the colour here. So what I'm looking at straight away, I want some blossom colour. So I'm definitely going for that. I'm definitely going for this, and maybe that, and maybe that. So they're the colours that are speaking to me for blossom straight away. You might think that one you're having a laugh, but we want a bit of a dark shade. You always want to go a bit daring and go dark, all right, with that. So they're going to be the blossom shades I'm picking out. We'll come back to that in a minute. The little mouse there, we can do, I think that one there is going to work. I'm going to go with a bit of iron grey, because I want to tone it down a little bit to make it so you can have a warmer colour or a cooler colour. And I'll tell you what, will make this mouse a cooler tone, as if you put like a bluey kind of colour in there as well.
Ooh.
Deep, oh, that's actually green, it's not a blue. Bear with. We'll go for that one there. No, that one.
Oh,
that one there. Hang on, I'm there. That's it. There you go. So we've got some good colours there, and we'll go for this more rich brown. That there will work on with the mouse.
Okay.
So what you want to do, instead of like what I call micro colouring, right? We're gonna chunk it up. So let's start with the mouse. Before you put any colour anywhere, have a little bit of play with your pencil. So here's how you're going to work with your watercolour pencils. Where you want it darker and a more intense shade, I am not pressing harder. And if you tend to be heavy-handed with your pencils, big tip, hold it further back, because you've got less of that power to pencil there. You can't press as heavily. Yeah. So what I would say is go a little bit darker on one side with all of your colours and try them out. I would definitely make a colour chart before you start playing. I don't have a colour chart here. I keep losing my colour charts. But that's where, my sketch pack.
Yeah. Yes.
I need to get all my colour charts in that book, so that wherever I am, I've got my book and all my colour charts are together. And that's what I am going to do. So can you see how, right now, this is not the full story, because when we add water, these are going to change, all right? They're the best of all worlds, because you've got the benefit of a pencil, so you've got fine detail if you want to, for layering, but you've got a quick hit of colour when you just add a touch of water, wet your brush, and then take a lot of the water off there, and then just add a bit of water. Look at that colour burst from there. Look at the difference in the intensity of that, Ben.
Yeah.
Watch again. Look at that colour just pop. Right. What you're seeing is you're seeing the dry pigment. And
Yes.
it's like they don't come to life until you add the water. So you've actually found you've got more colour on there than you think you have when you add the water. So let's look at this little mouse. Let's say that we're going to use the lighter colour over the whole thing. Let's do that. Okay. So one of these browns will do. Well, let's use the more taupey brown. And I'm going to literally go like this and colour over the whole thing. Like that, over the whole thing, even his little nose there. Right, and I'm using, see how far back I'm holding the pencil?
Uh-huh.
All right, so, and I'm not worried if I'm catching a couple of these leaves, because this is the first layer, which is always going to be paler when you're using, for me, I find this works better. You can building up watercolours. What a lot of people don't, and I didn't know until I started, studying watercolour more, is that very rarely does a watercolour artist get everything done in one hit, like one pass over the thing. What they'll do is they'll build the colour, yeah? So it'll, they layer it, what they call kind of glaze the colour and things. So I'm popping a little bit more dark of this more rich browny colour here, and it looks a bit meh, but all I'm doing is just going with the, a light coat of the main colours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use this darker grey.
Okay.
And I'm going to go around his little nose here and definitely think of where these little, the flowers and things are going to be cast in shadow. All right. So in the underneath the flowers and around the flowers, likely to be a bit darker. So far, it's like if someone's just tuning in, they go, well, I ain't impressed so far. But
it's funny, I was just about to read that comment out. But,
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pass the remote. But what I'm doing is I'm now just using this brush and just flicking. You see, going with the direction of the hair that I've created for you. And what we're going to do is this layer will dry, and then we can go over it and build it up, yeah? So we can add more intense colour and more detail by basically, but the important thing is with watercolour pencils, drying this. You either let it dry or you can dry it with your heat gun, even a hairdryer if you've got one at home. But because a lot of us are stampers, you've probably got a heat gun.
Yeah.
Because if you go over the top now with a pencil, that'll grab the colour because the fibres in the are wet and it'll go and it'll soak in. So while that's drying, let's go to the base colour with these guys. So let's start with this darker colour here. So same as we just did. So test out your colours, the darker purple. So a little bit more pressure and then lighter, and we can drag that out. And that's how we're going to be colouring it in as well. And then this one here. Now sometimes, you can eliminate, we might even eliminate that very pale pink, because to get a pale pink, all we need to do is just put less of this darker pink on and add a bit of water when we blend it out. Makes sense, doesn't it? So this very pale one, in fact, I'm going to park it over there already. It's already been cut from the mix. Bless its little cottons. It's
cutting room floor for you.
It absolutely is. It's over there, but it's fine. It'll come back. It'll come back. If you want to do those portraits later, or if you want to go pastel, really pastel, that'll be great. But in my mind, if you can get the job done with fewer pencils, in fact, have I done that one? No, that's the one we're parking. Right, yes, okay. So what we're going to do is now, we'll start with the lighter one so you can see. So look at the colour pop when we add the colour there. That's just absolutely
beautiful.
Spot on.
Yeah, it is.
So this is absolutely, if you think most of us just go straight to the cards, because when you watch on TV, or Crafters TV, you see it and it just looks like it just accidentally works, just like that, magically. It doesn't. We've done this little bit of prep often so that you can just go straight into creating the card for you. But this is what happens beforehand to make it work, yeah? So the next thing I'm going to do is look at the lighters one. I'm going to use this lighter pink here, and I'm going to do exactly what I've just done, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to go straight over this whole of this blossom. We're not even going to shade it hardly at all. So the whole, because I'm making it as quick as possible to get the job done. Because if you think about regular pencils, you'll know this is not possible with a regular pencil. You're gonna, with your wax pencils, you've got to go, you're kind of like much slower, build it up and, you know, use different coloured pencils to get the shading, right? With this, we're literally putting a wash of the palest kind of version of what we're using over there. And often as well, we'll leave some of the card white, because in traditional watercolour, the white is the card that's on the paper, yeah? So that's basically how you don't add white. They don't usually include white.
Yeah.
Because white isn't a transparent colour. What traditional watercolour is transparent. Should also mention that if you want to do these and maybe put them in a frame, make some wall art and gift them and sell, absolutely do that. Because, but be careful about what you're colouring in them in with. If you use pencils, these are pigment based. So with your pigment based colours, they are less likely, they don't fade like dye based colours.
Okay.
So if you use your aquas, they're fabulous for cards. But if you want something that's going to sit on the wall and not lose its colour quickly, then go with pigment, okay? And that's not particular to any one brand, it's just the way colouring products are. That's the way, that's it. That's just the, you know, the physics of it, of the whole thing. Yeah. So we're going to pop that on there, and I'm just putting a little bit of this darker one just at the base, just so that we've got a little bit of a base colour on there. And so my mission is get the base colour on. Yeah. We'll have a little regroup. Yeah. And then we'll do the detail on top. But nice. That's where I'm coming from. And then we'll have some great fun with the stencils, which are going to be way quicker.
That sounds like a nice idea.
Well, yay! So we've got the pink on there. So let's pop the water on there. So let's see what's happening when we add the water and see the colour pop. So we've got all that really pretty, delicate pink going on there. And we've got that little bit of that purpley kind of colour at the base. So popping that like that. See how that becomes less granular and it just all that pigment. So all you're doing is putting pigment sort of where you want it to be. You're not having to carefully apply it like you do with a wax pencil, because with a wax pencil, unless you use a solvent or a burnishing stick, it doesn't move much, and it doesn't actually move that much even with solvent. Yeah. But watercolour, this is like, you know, if you think of your pans, your watercolour pans, you know, your hard watercolour cakes, the tins people think of, it's like that stuff's just been stuck in the middle of a pencil. So it makes it easier if you've tried watercolour before, because it's more of a precise kind of placement before you then add the bit of water. So, you know, just easier, I think, for beginners. I find them easier, to be honest. So right, we've got that there. So we could put a base coat on the branch. Shall we do that? And then we will we'll go ahead and pop a little bit of the green. Yeah. So like I said, the mission here is base coating. Just putting that on there. I've got his tail there, haven't I? Not the branch. Let me pop that little bit of brownie colour on his tail, so we'll keep that a little bit warmer tone there. And then the branch, we're going to go a bit more of a darker kind of grey. So if you use this grey more than the brown, and just a hint of the brown, we'll pop that going into a little bit of green there as well. You should be able to create different like types of you know, of the brown colour coming through as well. You don't need loads of them to make it work. Does that make sense? Loads of browns. You just need a few colours that you can mix together and get that same effect. So we're going to pop that like that. So this is tail done there. And then hopefully this will look, can you see how that's much more greyed out?
Yeah, you can,
That's just by putting a lot more of that grey colour down first. So it's muted it, it's taken all the warmth away from it, made it much cooler tone. And then we're going to base coat a little bit of the green, and then we're going to dry it and come back and then see where we're at with that. But hopefully that's letting you see that you don't have to go all in with fine detail colouring. on all those little micro bits, yeah? Does that? Hopefully, anyway.
Christine has just said, I thank God that I don't have mice right now. I hate mice. However,
Yeah.
Sheena has made that one mouse look so cute. I mean, if all mice that might sneak into my house came around looking like that with flowers and cute, I may not be so frantic and sleep out in my car last year when you slept out in your car last year when you had a mouse.
In your car? No.
Wow. I mean, if that little mouse came, you wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh, hello. You'd be getting the cheese out, wouldn't you? You would absolutely be getting the cheese out and building a little mouse
cute, isn't he?
house. He's too cute. Speaking of garden visitors, says Debbie Cantwell, around midnight, I heard some barking and yowling, and I turned on the backyard light, and there was a coyote looking at me.
Yikes. So that just shows, you know what, different areas we live in.
That's it.
It's like what you're going to get is like, what?
What's going to turn up? What's the weirdest garden visitor you've ever had? Or let us know in the US what you've had in your garden that might seem weird to us. Like a bear's pretty weird, isn't it, for example? Anyone ever had like an alligator in their backyard? Or maybe like
yeah, that could happen.
A moose?
Yeah, you know, like in Louisiana and places, but you've got alligators there, you've got to watch them.
Don't they just roam free in Louisiana?
Sorry?
Don't the gators just roam around free?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be a bit like, a bit scary there.
What's the worst we get here? Maybe a badger?
A badger, yeah, or
badger.
You know, a fox. Ooh,
a fox, yeah.
Scary, yeah.
Badgers can be a bit vicious. I tell you what can be also quite scary here in the UK. Cows.
Cows?
Cows.
Really?
Yeah. No?
Yeah, that would be like, It's probably escaped from somewhere because there's not many just roaming.
No.
Not like
not in your back garden, probably.
When good cows go bad.
Hi again from the Isle of Man, says Carolyn Hanley. What's this I hear about disco snails? Brian, the disco snail. We'll look at that a little while. Hi, Maureen Haggerty's joined us. Jeffrey Langley's in from New Hampshire. We both have grey and red squirrels, as well as flying squirrels. I mean, what? Flying squirrels?
Oh, I've seen them. They're brilliant.
Squirrels?
Yeah, the flying squirrels. Yeah, they've got like bat wings, haven't they?
Don't know.
They've got their arms lift up, and then they've got this thing that go, woo.
Fly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nuts, that.
Yeah, they're cool.
Anne says the grey ones are bigger and tend to force the little red ones out. We don't see many red ones. The first time my daughter saw a red squirrel, she said she'd seen a chipmunk with no stripes. Pat said, what a cute collection, just put it on my wish list. Listen, we are tinkering just above 100 of these remaining. By the time we've gone for a little break here and come back, I tell you what, scrap that. We have less than 100 of the showstoppers now remaining. If you want to get yours, plenty of the, well, I say plenty, we've got a lot more of the Garden Visitors collection on its own, but if you want the showstopper, the value's in the showstopper, because for an extra 5 or 10, you're getting 60 sheets of card and the Aquablend pencils that Sheena is currently using. That's $24.99, $29.99. You're getting them for a $5 within the collection, but less than 100 people can now do that. £100, $120. If you've got the showstopper in your basket, now's the time to be checking out, because we are very, very busy. We'll come back with more inspiration, more of your great comments, and some pictures as well. You'll go nuts for the gallery that we've got coming up in a mo.
My name's Craig Laird. I work at Crafter's Companion. I am a craft expert where I get to play with lots of crafty goodies from Crafter's Companion, and hopefully we're here to inspire you with lots of crafty things that you can do. So my crafting journey, that started many, many years ago, actually just over 20 years ago. I actually came across crafting on UK Shopping TV. I was unwell at the time, and I was just channel surfing, just having a look to see what was on TV, and then I came across who has now become my friend, Dawn Bibby, and I thought, oh, quite like that bit of crafting that she's doing. I purchased some crafty goodies, and before you know it, here I am, all these years later, doing what I'm doing with Crafter's Companion. So believe it or not, none of my family or friends are actually very creative. So the creative side in me has actually just progressed naturally. As I have progressed, I've become really good friends with many craft experts out there in the industry, and they're the ones that inspire me. Then coming to Crafters Companion, Crafters TV, and interacting with all the crafters at home, seeing what they make. I am a huge, huge advocate for social media because you get to see lots of things that everyone makes at home, and that does inspire me as well. Many years ago, before I started here at Crafters Companion, believe it or not, I didn't have a lot of confidence. I didn't go out a lot, I didn't do much. Now, with Crafters Companion and Crafters TV, it's given me so much confidence, self-belief. My biggest crafting success, I'm going to have to pick two. One of them is appearing on HSN America. I was really, really lucky a couple of years ago to actually go to Florida with Sarah to see how it all works behind the scenes. An incredible juggernaut that they shop on TV is at HSN. That for me is an incredible proud moment. I will never ever forget when all of you incredible crafters at home voted enough for me to be in the running of the 2021 Male Craft Personality of the Year. Was such a humbling feeling. I was so proud. I was so grateful. Our Crafters TV audience are absolutely incredible. For me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers, and the support that I get. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise, but if you just want that interaction, you just want to have that chat away about anything random in life, onto social media, onto Crafters TV, you know that you're going to get that support, you're going to get that understanding when it comes to the crafters at home.
The showstopper in the collection, sales-wise, are neck and neck, but we've got, as I say, just slightly less than 100 of the showstopper remaining if you want it. Pretty in pink, says Stephanie Theodos. We're going to come back to this demo. Rhonda says, I can't wait to see this pic. Sent in a pic, mine and my hubby's little three-legged squirrel named Tripod.
Oh.
He climbs my hubby's pant legs to get the walnut. Are we looking at a picture of that later? I cannot wait. I cannot wait. We've got a picture of Tripod the squirrel coming later. Anne says, I'd say opossums are the strangest things around here. What's an opossum?
A little possum? Isn't that what Dame Edna used to think? Little possum?
Oh, is that?
G'day, my little possum.
G'day, my little possum. Yeah. So a possum is the same as an opossum?
As a possum. I think it is. Is it the same? Yeah.
We have an opossum living in a tree in our backyard, says Beth. Oh, apparently they're quite ugly, but they eat a lot of bugs, so they're good.
Oh, okay.
Kendall says, I've had deers in my yard in Minnesota, and one night when I was sleeping, they ate all my hydrangeas.
Oh, and they're pretty as well, but yeah, hydrangeas are also pretty, so...
And Nancy Walter says, in Indiana, we had a flock of about 24 wild turkeys come through our yard.
I bet that was noisy.
I bet it was.
They sound mad, don't the turkeys? Don't they? Yeah.
What do they sound like?
That's nothing. There's nothing sensible about a turkey, is there?
Not really.
It's like, what's going on with that face thing? It's like, it doesn't know what it wants to do, does it?
Craig's just come down the corridor like that. Do you know what, you know I sign a little bit. Do you know what the sign is for turkey as well? It's one of my faves. Turkey.
Turkey, is that what it is?
Turkey. Yeah. Oh dear. Here in the southern
Craig's been wondering now what kind of surreal universe he's in, parallel universe, isn't he?
Don't worry, Craig. It's just what happens when we get together. I live in Northamptonshire, says Sheila, and I have seen black squirrels. I thought they were a myth, but not, it seems.
Wow.
Here in the southern part of Jersey, I have a possum in my yard as well as groundhogs at the same time.
Oh, I'm thinking of one of my favourite films there.
Groundhog Day. You know, it was Groundhog Day.
Tony.
It was the other day.
Pete, isn't it? Wasn't it
Tony Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was on Monday, Punxsutawney Pete, and they showed Groundhog Day for the whole day on Sky Cinema. It was just on after each other. I have raccoons that come onto my porch nightly, says Carletta. And Ben, says Sarah Brown, my sister gets kangaroos in her garden, along with, I don't know what this is, I can't even say that, along with an echidna. Echidna. At one stage, a blue-tongued lizard, also magpies and kookaburras.
Oh. Oh, kookaburra, what cool.
I'm going to have to hand you back to Sheena now, who's going to finish off the little field mouse whilst I Google what is an echidna.
Yeah. So then, guys, yes, because I've never heard of that either. I've seen a hummingbird in the garden when I lived in California. So what I'm doing, here's what you've missed, right? You haven't really missed lots, but because I'm going to tell you, I'm going much darker now. I'm going all in, right? Because I've gone with the darkest of the pinks in the base of the flowers. I've gone with this more intense brown, and then I've even gone in with iron grey, and I may have even gone in with a little bit of black in places, because what I'm doing is I am intensifying the contrast, right? So I'm like turning the contrast up. Everything was a little bit kind of like pastel. So I've really gone for, making it lighter and darker. And until we get that, some water on that, it may not be as obvious, but
That's an echidna. It's like a long-nosed hedgehog. Look at him.
Wow,
I kid you not. And do you know
he's got hair like mine in the morning. That's exactly. It was kind of like looking in the mirror, and then got the manicure sorted and like a bit of gel. and it was like,
So for garden visitors too, we need to have an echidna in there. I was just reading here. Sorry, it says echidnas blow snot bubbles to keep themselves cool.
Oh, how attractive! Oh, they just get cuter by the hour.
Aren't they? I want a pet echidna. They're brilliant.
Wow, you might not be seeing what echidna on a card. Echidna card ain't going to happen, guys. Do not request an echidna with its snot bubble on a card. Just saying. I'm not your woman for that. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, dear.
Hey, I tell you what, these shows are educational enough. Isn't that the beauty of global gatherings, though, Ben?
That's it, isn't it? We all learn from each other.
Yeah, we do.
In so many different things.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Who needs National Geographic?
Oh, dear.
So what I've done here is I've just intensified a bit of this colour, and I'm just popping a little bit of that darker colour. And, you don't need, look how quick I'm going here. I'm just bursting the pigment that from that darker purpley pink at the base of those petals where I applied it, and that'll do nicely, thank you. I've added some darker tone to his tail here, so if I go across there, that's going to make that a bit more impactful. I've done the same with the branch, so this is going to have a bit more pop and contrast. These little paws there, claws, whatever they are. And then his face, I've actually added quite a bit of extra colour here. So, and what I'm doing is, the good thing to note is, use your brush in the direction of the marks I've made for the hair for you, because then it'll intensify that look of fur. Because somebody I'm not sure if it was on my Facebook page or on the Inkette said, I always have trouble with fur. So the thing is with fur, to keep that look going, is to use your brush and use the direction of the brush to follow the direction of the fur in there. Now I'm going to do something I said be careful with, because I want some more impact again, and that card is damp now. So if I use this black pencil even, and I go in there, it's going to really grab some of that colour, but it's also going to accentuate the look of the texture of the fur to really build on that. Can you see how much more fluffy he looks by just, so start with the darker around his little muzzle there, and I might even add a little bit more dark to his nose, but see how he's popping out much more now. And I'm going to say we're done with that, and then shall we do a background with a stencil?
Yeah, why not?
Shall we have a quick bit of stencilery?
I think we should. And by the way, just for Barbara R and others who are just saying you just joined, we will show you all of the stamps and dies and stencils in just a little while, so don't worry about that.
Right, so I'm happy with him. Now what you can do is, if you think, well, I've lost a bit of the light on there, remember your white pen. So if you got that sketch pack, or if you got the Bella Luna, you can go back and pop a little bit of highlight in places if you've lost some little bits. So can you see how we've got his little eyes shining again?
Yeah.
So, you can pop a little highlight on his tail or whatever. So don't forget that you've got that option as well to, you can play with it. You can pop a little bit more on the blossom, but I think that's cool. I think we're happy with that. Not bad in
Absolutely
real
love
time.
that.
And then we've got to play with the background.
Okay.
Fabulous. So for the background, pencils are fab, but they're a little bit tricky to stencil with. You technically can do a bit of stenciling with them if you add a bit of glycerin and scribble on a bit of card, but just use your water reactive for that. It's much quicker. So I'm going to take some pink and I'm going to take some green. And now this will kind of go to a brownie colour at some point, and we'll go for maybe a little bit of the a purpley colour. Let's go for that. So let's pick a stencil. So there's loads to choose from. So we can go with, let's go leafy. And shall we go with the swirly leafy or the leafy? Let's go with that one.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go with this leafy kind of swirly swag there. Let's pop that one there. And it doesn't matter where you put them because they're all going to look cool anyway. So I'm going to pop that like this. How much time do we have, Nicola? We'll never get this done in 3 minutes, so we might have to...
Well, I tell you what, do you want to take a bit of a pause and I can,
yes,
I can read some comments?
Yes, is that
and we'll
good?
continue it in the second hour.
Yeah,
Sounds
got loads, yeah.
like a plan. Loads of lovely comments coming through, which we can look at. I can show you some more finished samples here as well. The groundhog's name is Phil, says Anne. Not Pete, is it? It's not punctually Pete, it's punctually Phil. Phil the groundhog.
Tony, what did I say?
We said Pete.
Pete.
It's Phil.
It's Phil, that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a great, perfect wild turkey imitation, Sheena, says Mary Beth Doyle.
Thank you.
And
One
Sheena,
of my many talents.
Sheena says Sherry Miller. Tony is laughing very hard at your turkey call.
Thank you.
Zoe Carver, what is the sign for chicken, Ben? It's just like, it's the same, it's just that, it's chicken, chicken, chicken. That's also the sign for Twitter, although it's not Twitter anymore now, is it? Yeah, it's X. I missed the beginning, says Barbara Ark. Yes, we'll see them all again in a minute. Hannah Gosling-Smith, Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog wasn't a echidna. Well, I did not know that. I thought he was a hedgehog. He's the red one, isn't he? The bad guy. Margaret Yanker says, Sheena is the best. You're on my bucket list of people I would love to meet. Your creations are always a smidge different in the most delightful way. And I'm very slow at computer stuff, but I have selected to follow you. And what a delight that is going to be. That's from Margaret.
Oh, thank you. That's brilliant. Cheers for that. That's like, that means a lot. It means everything, actually, because that's all we're here for, is for you guys. So, you know, if it wasn't for you guys, we would have no purpose.
We would have no purpose.
Oh, maybe no porpoise. That'd be another one.
porpoise.
That's another, so looking for another card.
There you go. That's the garden visitors.
I have
3.
no porpoise.
It's a type of dolphin, isn't it? Sheena, I so love to get you some Sheena, says Cindy. So sad that I missed it out. You can go back and watch it. You'll be able to watch it again. Sheena is awesome. I can't wait to get mine out in colour. Pat says, Sheena, I can just sit here and watch you colour for hours. And Cindy says, we have opossums, raccoons, deers, moles, voles, squirrels, wild boars, coyotes, even a bobcat, but lots of lovely birds. And Laurie says, send a few iguanas. Iguana. Send a few iguanas over to eat the scorpions here in Arizona. You don't get scorpions in your backyard, do you? If I lived somewhere where there's scorpions in my backyard, I would move house.
Oh,
very quickly.
Yeah. You see insects, not so much with me, Ben. Don't like your insects. Yeah.
There are iguanas in Florida, says Carolyn Wilson, and Sherry says, our mice are more pointy-nosed. Yours are adorable, Sheena. The little mouse here is very, very adorable, as you can see. I'll just show you the characters. We can do the photo gallery. Do we do the photo gallery now, do you? Or we do... Oh, OK, we'll do the photo gallery. Sorry. I'll just do my own thing. We're going to have a look at the photos that you guys sent in. Squirrel. From where's Stephanie? Do we know where Stephanie is? Stephanie is... Stephanie's... so this is like just down... It's up... Down south, but up north a bit. Aren't you guys? You guys are sort of Midlandsy way, I think, aren't you? So that's just like our normal squirrel, which we might see, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's like ours in the garden in Evesham. Yeah.
Rosalind's. Oh wow,
Cute.
Rosalind. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Native to DC, you got the black squirrel, North American red squirrel, a flying squirrel, and the Delmarva fox squirrel.
Whoa.
Oh, and here's Rhonda's squirrel tripod. Look at tripod.
Oh, a little tripod. How cute.
I mean,
How cute is that? He's really tame, isn't he?
It does look very tame. I'm not sure I'd feel that happy with a squirrel trying to get on my trouser leg, but there we are. If you want the Garden Visitors 10-piece collection, the showstopper, you're going to have to be quick. It's very, very busy. £100 or $120 if you're a Platinum member. We have around about 95 of those remaining. We'll get a full stock update for you as we head into the second hour of the show. And thank you so much if you have just joined us. I know a lot of you have just been messaging and saying, oh, we've just tuned in. What's going on? What's happening? Brand new Sheena collection. And we will go through all with you so you can see everything that you're going to get. And then we will get on with the demo as far as making the background is concerned for this fantastic project that Sheena is into. But just to kind of tell you, the Showstopper collection is the most popular. You get everything you're going to see with Sheena in just a few moments' time, which are all of the garden visitors. So you get that beautiful fox, you get the mouse who we're looking at right now, you've got the owl, you've got the cute little snail in there as well, you've got the rabbit and the squirrel too, squirrel, and then you've also got this beautiful floral frame die set and the stencils, which we're going to have a look at in just a few moments' time. If that wasn't good enough for you, for an extra I can't believe this, £5 or $10, you get the Aquablend pencils that Sheena's actually working with during this show. It's the portrait collection, normally retails at £24.99, $29.99, £5 or $10, and you get 60 sheets of cardstock to go with it. That's incredible. That is why the showstopper is disappearing. We have got less than 90 of these now remaining. Go quickly. We've got another hour of this later on this evening from 6, but I wouldn't be waiting until... And the thing is, you get absorbed in what Sheena's up to, and you forget to kind of like, check out. So check out now, and then you can sit back and enjoy all of the inspiration to come in this hour and later on with Debbie and Sheena. But before we get on with the background, Sheena, should we just show the people who've just joined us exactly what we're getting?
Yes, absolutely. So we've got based around little garden visitors, so little gorgeous, little cute furry creatures that you may or may not see in your garden because they're perfectly camouflaged. You can see the flowers are part of the little guys. So you've got the mouse that's hanging onto the blossom. Yeah. You've got the squirrel there. But look at the level of detail. So what I was saying for this, for example, you can just stamp it in one colour, drag the colour out. We might have to do that maybe in the next hour, Ben, just to let you see how quickly that could go. You've got the fox.
Love that.
You've got Brian. We love Brian. Brian the snail there. So if you know somebody who just needs to slow down, take it easy. Stop and smell the roses sometimes. Be Brian.
That's like
be
my
more
son
Brian.
getting ready for school in the morning, that snail.
That's a snail, that's Brian. Yeah. And at home time, they are the squirrel.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. And then we've got the wise owl. And just, again, with all those gorgeous flowers that you can highlight. You'd even, if you're good with cutting out those main images, you could decoupage them if you want. The little bunny. But then what you do is this little circle kind of represents the spirit of that little animal, that nature in harmony around that little creature in your garden, and you're going to peg those little wherever you want them. You can pop them in little clusters, wherever corners use them for, and that's a worker die. You're going to use them with any of your collections. I think this is a really good one, and you've got the big wording, so this is the one that'll bring a shot in the arm to what other stamps you've got at home as well, not just this collection. And then stencils, always going to bring a new twist and a look for backgrounds with any collection. And I've layered them so that you've got 2 lots in there, so that you've basically got, you're going to layer them, makes them interesting that way. That's what makes papers look exciting and interesting, is because you've got more than one thing to look at. You don't know what makes them cool until you start looking at them and you go, oh yeah, that image is kind of imposed over that bit, and then there's something else going on underneath. And it's quick because it's a stencil, and they're good quality 8x8. Heavy duty mylar, and you can also emboss with them with your embossing mat in your embossing folders. Work a treat.
Absolutely brilliant, right? And don't forget, with the showstoppers I've shown you, you're going to get the portrait Aquablend pencils and 60 sheets of your card as well. That's why it's proving so popular. That's why, as I said, we've got around 90 of these now remaining. So please go quickly on that showstopper collection, £100, $120. If you do just want to get the garden visitors on their own, you can, and check the website for the individuals too. Also on the show, there are more colours of the Aquablend pencils. We've actually got the 3 sets on a buy 2 get 1 free. The midis available too, which I know Sheena's been using. something. And we've also got individuals as far as the Aquablend pencil tins are concerned too. So if you just want to buy the individual tins, you can. But this is the way to get yourself a tin for a £5. This is the value. This is the one that so many people are shopping for. Right, so in the last hour, we were doing that fantastic project with the little mouse, and you were just about to start doing a beautiful background, Sheena.
Absolutely, yes. So what we've got is I've got this, I've got the multi-purpose card here, which is fab for stenciling and things, and I've cut it aside. I've used this one that has the leafy bits and the swirls on, and so you've got more than one element on your stencil. It's not just a repetitive, what I call, like, you know, Space Invaders. Remember the old game?
Oh, yeah.
And you've got to shoot them.
What was the noise again?
And that's, by that time, it's only down 2 levels and I'm already panicking. I like, oh, it's too much stress. So anyway, it's not like that. It's very random and organic. And so you've got lots to play with. Look and pick out elements from there. So the first thing I've got is I've got this really pretty pink, and I'm using the Harmony Water Reactive here. And I've got my, whatever applicator, it might be that one, it could be your egg type applicators, whatever you find works nicely for you. I've used a bit of stick and spray on there to anchor it, to keep it stuck where I want it to be. But I can also use a bit of glycerin. So what the glycerin's going to do, it's going to make the colour a little bit paler. I'm not putting it on my ink pad, obviously, but I'm putting it on my mat so that if I pick up some of the colour on my applicator, so press down, pick up a decent amount of colour, but then pick up some glycerin, when I put that on there, it's just going to make that go a bit further. And it's going to make it a little bit more pastel. It's going to go on there easier. It's kind of like as if you know, it feels like you'd oiled the card, but it's obviously not oil-based, it's water-based.
Yeah.
But what, you know what, Ben? You know when you have a brilliant idea and you might never have as good an idea ever again. When I come up with this idea for mixing glycerin with inks many moons ago, and watercolours and things, I never realised how much it would catch on and how many people do this now as well, which is a great thing. It kind of came off the back of using the glycerin for faux leather, which I was doing. We've got to remind me to bring faux leather back with embossing folders sometime. We've got to do that one, because some of you may not have seen that. And it looks super cool. We need to do that back. So those of you who know about the faux leather technique, we'll do that, because that's a fun one. But that's where, because then I started looking into, you know, glycerin and what is it, and what does it do? It's basically, it attracts moisture. So this is why they put it in cosmetics and things, because in hand creams, because it not only softens at the time, but it also draws moisture to it. So what it does is, when certain ink pads first came out, one of the big selling points to these ink pads, blending ink pads like this, because until you could get blending ink pads like this, they just were dry. You couldn't blend them over a surface. They would stick. You'd put them on there, they'd stick, and they went nowhere, and there were not very much you could do with them other than stamp a coloured line. So one of the features was that they had a long open time, was the technical term, which basically meant they had something added to them which made them stay wet longer and made them thicker, so they would blend across the surface and give you time to do that. And that's exactly what glycerin does. So when you do that, and you can take that away, you've got just a pretty little background. So what I was thinking is, instead of doing, you've got this full-on, full-colour, gorgeous background here that Debbie's created, but I'm thinking let's do more of a pastel, subtle one, but let's bring one of the other folders in, and let's maybe do some little orbs over it. Yeah, should we do that?
Not? Yeah.
And I think I'm going to introduce a bit of a kind of a nice, pretty blue. So let's go with this ocean blue. And I need, oh, hang on, bear with. It's kind of stuck inside the ink pad. We may not be using ocean blue.
Oh, so
somebody has stood, I think, on. Oh no, it's all right.
Done it.
It's okay.
I was about to come over with me.
The show can go on.
Thank goodness for that. We were going to have to go off air then.
I'm singing like Freddie in my head. The show must go on. We're all right. Crisis averted. I got the lid off. Wouldn't that be an awful? You know, the reason we had to be abandon the show. She couldn't get the lid off.
She couldn't get the lid off. No.
Yeah. Useless. So I'm popping a little bit of glycerin on there again, because I want this to be quite pale. I can always darken it up, but let's go for paler, right? So ink up your applicator so you're not contaminating your ink pad. Yeah. Then bring that to your glycerin, okay? And then I haven't stuck this down, so I'm just trusting on the power of my mind and will alone. No, I'm going to anchor it down. All right, and just go ahead. And now the thing is with this is often you think you haven't got much going on with stenciling. Back in the day with the, can you remember changing rooms and things, Ben?
Ah, yes.
With Lawrence with his funny cuffs and things,
yes,
right? I loved Lawrence, loved him. Well, stenciling was huge on walls, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And always, when you first start stenciling, I bet everybody used to put too much on because you think, well, there's nothing on there. And you take the stencil and you go, yikes.
Yikes.
Subtle it is not, but like myself.
Well, he never always got it right, did he, old
He didn't,
Lawrence?
No. I remember there was crying now and again.
Yeah, there was.
That? Yeah, there was, yeah.
Remember those shows?
Yeah.
What have you done to my house?
How do you like your makeover? It's not what you want, is it? Well, the Kleenex are out, is it? So watch, look. Wow.
Whoa,
See, so
yes.
we've got like ethereal orbs, so you've got more than you need, and you can overlap the orbs as well.
Yeah.
No harm in overlapping your orbs, and also make some of them darker, make some of them lighter. Where you get the overlap, you'll have that. What I would say is, I would have a stencil playing day with these. Get your ink pads out, make some backgrounds. Just make little colour references and then get your colour in your main items to fit your backgrounds. Basically, stick with the same colour schemes for your background as your main focal points. And then you're going to get, it's going to work, isn't it? That makes sense. So we've got that. I'm going to stick that on there. Excuse me for sniffing. I've got a stupid cold that just decided to do its thing right now.
Well,
How
listen,
rude.
if you need to blow your nose, you can, because I've got loads of comments here. Tammy says, hey Ben, an echidna is a spiny anteater. Learning so much today. Zoe says, isn't it ferrets up your trouser legs in the north? I didn't know about that. They race ferrets up here, don't they? Like if you go to like the country fairs and stuff, they have ferret racing. I don't know if do they go? Actually, they do go up your trouser leg. I think, yeah, I do think we've had that conversation before. I think we've had many of the same conversations before. As I say, I can't remember one day to the next. I recently had a barn owl on the fence post in my backyard. I was so amazed at how big he was, says Tammy Navarro. And thank you everyone as well, just saying how much you love these Sheena shows and saying I like that Sheena sort of demystifies things and makes me think that I can actually do the things she does too.
Fabulous. Well, I hope you do think that because, you can't. It's like everything. Until you've given those couple of little essential things, it's like you don't want to have to, study for a year before you start colouring in. You just need a couple of main pointers to get you going. And then the only way to get better at it is just do more of it. That's it. Yeah.
A question from Kendall who was just saying, what was Sheena saying to use if we don't want it to fade? Was that about if you're doing like home decor pieces? I think you said earlier on about...
Oh, yeah. No, it's pencils. So basically you've got two main types of colouring product. You've got dye-based and you've got pigment, and that's just across the board. So everything that makes a colour basically has, as the colours comes from either a dye, which is transparent, but usually not light fast. And it's just the nature of the colouring product. So for cards, aqua pens and your ink pads and things, fine and great for cards. But if you want to do wall art and put something on the wall, you absolutely want to go with pigment, and that's what's in the pencils. And different pigments are more light fast. That's why artists pay ridiculous money for some pencils, because they want their art to last not 50 years, they want it to still be around 100 years, or more if they're doing these very big, expensive commission pieces. But this is what you need here. You really want the pigment is for if you're going to put it on a wall or you want it, it's a keeper.
Yeah.
So that's where pencils score again.
Marvellous.
I hope that's made that clear. Right, so what we've got now is we've got this little, so this is where you've got these dies here. So this in here, you have your hoop die.
Yeah.
You've got your wording, and you've got all the little florals that cluster together wherever you want. What I would say is every time you do a bit of stamping, stamp these guys out as well in all the little spare bits on your bit of card, right? And then put the dies over them and just keep cutting them out and build up a collection of them. Because then you don't have to put the plate through just for a couple of flowers, do you? You might as well fill your plate with them every time you run something through and save it in a box. Right, so we'll stick that on there like that. So you can see it's going to be much what Debbie's done with her wording. You might not see the wording as clearly on that, but yeah, I think we're good. I think we're all right. It's going to be a pastel version. I like to use the team's samples because they deserve showcases, because
absolutely.
my team are amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys usually want to know how they've done them. And if I can't do every one on the shows, as I obviously can't represent everybody's, at least, you know, you can join the enquetes and you can ask them. Nobody better to tell you how it's been done than the person who's made the card.
Exactly right, yeah.
But what is also nice to do is to just mix them up a little bit and say similar techniques, different colours. So for Debbie, she's inked the whole background, for example, and she's used resist techniques and that, which we can do on another show, but that's a little bit more advanced with the stenciling. But I just wanted to show you how you can keep it really clean, really simple, and make it really work for you like that. So we've gone much more pastel with that. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue gel on there.
Were there any other animals that you kind of thought about putting into the collection? Like when you put the collection together, obviously we've got the characters now. Were there more who didn't quite make the cut?
Well, you know, you've got to think of a butterfly and a dragonfly, haven't you? But we've got so many cards
like that.
with butterflies and dragonflies, and I thought, let's go for something completely. Now, what hasn't been done that much? The snail collection, you know, bold snails. You know, you've got the bold butterflies, haven't we? Can you imagine the bold snails? It'd be like escargot.
L'escargot.
Yeah, exactly. Killer escargot. So that's what I thought. Let's do something a bit different, but that is still cool in a garden visitor kind of fashion.
Yeah.
So let me pop this on there, and then we'll colour these last little bits out in there. Now, whatever you want to, you know, stick these down with, go ahead, your choice. If you want to use a little bit of wet glue, you know, but for speed on the show, this is working a treat. I love these little applicators, the dotty one.
Yeah, so good, aren't they, for more intricate die cuts?
Fabulous, because wet glue, I am just not the tidiest of people.
No.
Oh, wait, I haven't got put enough on there. I was trying to be too speedy. Bear with, please.
Bear with.
Please hold, caller.
We've got more pictures coming in, which I'm looking forward to seeing in just a bit. I've heard the guys in the gallery sort of going, whoo, no way, whoa.
Cool.
Whoa. We've got a picture, apparently, of the biggest kangaroo in the world ever.
Attenborough, eat your heart out. We've got it all covered, haven't we?
Yeah. I might have to see if I can find the David Attenborough impression when we get round to that a little bit later on.
Ben, you owe it to us to give us that. Now I'm not going to let it lie. You know I'm not going to let it lie. So I'm just going to colour these little guys in here.
Phil's just asked, would colours fade if a picture's laminated?
Will
colours fade?
Yes, it's light that does it. It's not air.
No.
It's light. It's like the UV light. You can get sprays sometimes, but even they are you know, limited in what they can do. So it's the light, yeah.
Hi Claire, who's joined us from sunny Gibraltar. There's a place I'd love to go and visit. Mary Beth Doyle says, I do need a refresher on the faux leather, please. And I know Rachel was chatting about that as well. Says, yes, the faux leather is amazing.
When I first did that technique many years ago, it was like the Delia effect in chemistry. You couldn't get glycerin anywhere. Nobody could get glycerin. It was really funny.
Stockpiling it.
Because everybody was like, wow. And so basically, get yourself ready with some craft card, the water reactive ink pads, glycerin, and, you know, spray and shine works great as well. So they're your main ingredients, just saying. Yeah, we'll have to do that one time.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, the floor polish card, we might have to do that as well at some point.
The what?
Floor polish, Ben.
Floor polish card?
Floor polish card, yeah.
Wow. What?
Tell Ben if anybody remembers the floor polish card.
Go on, in the comments then. What does that consist of, please?
That's another one we need to bring back to you, because, you know, you miss these things sometimes, and we did it a lot, but then that was been a lot of years, you know, between, you know, what we've been doing. So maybe we need to do that as well.
Love this collection, says Michael. Hello, Michael. He says, as a bird watcher, I've sent an owl photo in.
Oh, wow, fab.
We will look at that shortly. And I love nature. Anywhere outside is my favourite place to be, says Cindy Condy. And do you know what? I'm exactly the same. You know, if I'm feeling a little bit down, a little bit glum, or need a bit of a pep up, outside, fresh air, get out in nature, walk the dog. It's what it's all about, isn't it? You know what we've found out that Willow's really good at? What? Agility. Oh, seriously? Yes, Maria's taken a couple of weeks to a little agility course that they've had with a friend. Willow's a cockapoo, isn't she? And she's a cockapoo. And it turns out she's like, our kids are natural. We've got a doggy agility Olympian and we didn't even know it. Crafts, here you come. Oh, just look out, yeah.
neither of us can run around the course with her, man, I've got to say.
I was just about to say, I could see you running around Crufts with Willow.
I'm going to be there cheering people on. Yeah, well done, the two of you. Keep it up, you're doing great. Yeah. Yeah,
So good. So what does she do, like once a week then, does she?
Yes, she's got it booked in for next week as well, so yeah.
Maybe I'll take Molly to that. We have a little place near us called Barks Farm that has like a little agility course. So being a collie, I think she's probably going to be quite good at that kind of stuff.
Oh,
That's incredible, that card though. How beautiful.
pretty, isn't it? Just considering we did that in real time, nothing pre-done or prepped. So that's what you can do, and that's with nothing that you probably haven't got in your craft room already, unless you haven't got these pencils yet, and don't miss out on that because it's a great set.
Yeah, the deal's so popular. We're going to have a break in just a second. I'll just show you these cards that I've got here so you can meet all of the other characters again in just a second. Anne says, do kangaroos make noises? Where's...
Skippy did.
Oh, Skippy did.
Yeah.
Wasn't Hazel? Yeah.
What was that, Skip? I know, she's dropped the card. There was always a ravine. Oh no, the card's fallen in the ravine, Skip. I think that was the theme tune as well.
I can't remember the theme tune. Just
I don't know, but I want to sing
Skippy, Skippy, the bush kangaroo.
Yeah, exactly.
We need our Australian correspondent, Sarah. We're looking at you. Do kangaroos make noises other than... I'd forgotten about the floor polish, says Mary Beth Doyle. Bring it back too. What is it? Let me know. I know what floor polish is.
I think it'll spoil it. Don't tell Ben the ending. It's like going to see a film and then tell you the end.
All right, don't tell me then. Don't tell me.
But you can if you want.
You can if you want.
Yeah, it might be a bit of an anticlimax if we build it up too much, you know.
Sarah says, what a beautiful card, Sheena. Oh, Sarah, you are still with us. Noise of a kangaroo, please. These are the other characters, though, by the way, that you will be meeting with in this collection. They are fantastic. And you've seen the use of your floral frame as well. So there's the owl. I know Michael just messaged him a few moments ago saying he's a big fan of bird watching. So, yes, and he sent in a picture of an owl, which we'll see in a bit. So you've got the beautiful owl, which is called Your Hoot. Then you've got the cute little bunny. Look at how gorgeous those florals are as well. And like we said, you know, if you're good with your snips, plenty of opportunity here for you to be able to snip and decoupage. But that beautiful little bunny is called Bee Hoppy. Don't worry, Bee Hoppy. Sorry, it really just tickled me. I love sentiments that, that work. This one's brilliant, right? Because you've got Brian the snail. I mean, how beautiful is that project? And the sentiment here, good slimes ahead. Yeah, I used to race snails, you know, back in the day. No, I used to have them, like you can race snails, and I was thinking to myself, like, how can I make my snail go quicker? Always coming second or third in races. I thought, you know what, I have to make him go quicker. I'll take his shell off. So I did. It only made him more sluggish.
Oh, it hurts.
That's a good one, that. No? I don't know why I bother. There's your mouse, who we've obviously met over the course of the last hour or so. There's a squirrel, who is nuts. Oh, you are my kind of nuts, and nuts about you. And then last but by no means least, absolutely love the beautiful fox too. So those are all of the characters. You get the stamps and dice for all of those, plus you're going to get that floral frame and the stencils, which Sheena's been using too. We'll go through again all the boards before the end of the show. And just to reiterate too, I think we've got about 90 of these left now, these showstoppers. For an extra £5 or $10, you get the Portrait Collection Aqua Blend pencils. That on its own is $24.99, $29.95. You're picking that up, plus 60 sheets of card for just £5 or $10 extra within that showstopper. That's why that is proving so super popular. £100 platinum or $120. And if you are new too, don't forget, you have got that opportunity to join Club Inspire. Join up for free. It's always free. And then you can get 20% off your first order. Gorgeous card, says Carol Guy. Beautiful card, says Barbara R. And Mary Beth Dawes says beautiful, Sheena. And Sarah Brown says, Sheena, you got it so right, but as for making noises, I'm not sure. I haven't actually heard a kangaroo, but I know they eat flowers, as I had flowers at my sister's house and Skippy ate them. I wasn't happy. He must have been hopping mad. We're going for a break.
everyone, I'm Lily. I've been part of Crafters Companion for about a year now. Can't believe it's been that long. It's absolutely flown by. How did my crafting journey start? Well, I have to say I've always been creative. I've always loved drawing, painting, making cards. Sort of started that when I was very, very young, making all my handmade Christmas cards, birthday cards, thank you cards, and from then on in it pretty much just stuck. So where am I from? So I currently live about 2 miles actually from head office here in County Durham, but I'm actually from Sheffield. Something that's really sort of close to my heart from where I'm from is the fact that we've got the Peak District just on our doorstep. Crafty inspirations, that's an interesting one. I have to say I'm inspired by so many different things. I'm inspired just by the team we have here at Crafters Companion. The craft experts are so inspiring. I learned so much from watching them, from sharing our ideas together, and I've actually watched the team on telly for so many years, even before I first come here. And I remember the first time sort of stepped through the doors here at the CTV studios, I was completely starstruck. And as well, our community that we have, our Crafters Companion family, that wider family that we interact online, you guys emailing into the shows, leaving all the comments, leaving pictures of your creations, I find so inspiring as well. It's a community where we all feed off of each other, a lovely, big, welcoming community. So I'm inspired by all you guys at home as well, which I think is absolutely lovely. What do I do apart from crafting? Well, I absolutely love running. I love being out in the open spaces, come rain or shine or snow or hail or whatever the weather throws us. So what does make Crafters TV so special? Well, I'm going to have to go with a very corny, very cheesy answer, but it is true. It's you guys at home, it's the viewers. If it wasn't for you guys watching, your amazing interaction, all your lovely comments, your feedback, your mates that you send through, Crafters TV would not be the same. We wouldn't be here without you guys at the end of the day. Ooh, big crafting fails or accidents on screen. That's an interesting one. I don't think I've had anything too disastrous. I'll be back on next week and I'll have a crafting disaster. You watch now.
Thank you, Cindy, for your comment of just Ben, ... laughing emoji face. Beautiful collection, Sheena says, Pat. Isn't it such a great collection? My goodness me, Sheena has outdone herself again. I'm going to stick with it. My favourite Sheena collection so far. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I love... it's like when we brought the Cosmic collection the other week. I love collections which are a little bit different or have like a little bit of a different aspect to them. And I think this collection certainly is that. You know, we've got so many fantastic floral collections, and like Sheena said, you know, lots of collections which feature butterflies and dragonflies, which is great. You know, that is fantastic. We love the fact that we've got so much choice. But my attention is spiked a little bit more when I see a collection like this and go, all right, I've never seen anything quite like this before. Love all the different characters and the fact that we've got some of those sort of different garden visitors in there, which I think you guys are absolutely loving. There's a lot of comments for the owls coming through. I know a lot of you love the snail as well, but the fact that we've got bunnies in there and squirrels and the foxes, I just think it's a little bit different. And a lot of chat as well about this beautiful frame, which I know quite a few of you are thinking about. You know, using within different collections too. I do believe, because it was Alcio was just asking, can I buy the one with the circle individually? I do believe the items are available individually for you on the web as well. So if you just type in garden visitors, you'll be able to see all of the options there for you, including the option of the showstopper and the option of the collection on its own. But remember, for as far as I'm concerned, if you go for the showstopper for an extra 5 or 10, I mean, you've got to do it. If you're going for the showstopper, you've obviously got a bit of a budget to play with. For an extra 5 or 10 to get the pencils and the cardstock, it's a must-have. But, as I say, less than 90 chances now to be able to do that. Sarah Brown says, Ben, you're so funny. Yes, I was hopping mad. You are really making me laugh. Thank you. Thank you. We always have fun when Sheena's in town, you see, because we're very like-minded when it comes to the gags and the impressions. And yes, thank you, Jamie, very punny. But listen, we've only got half an hour left on the show, which I cannot quite believe.
Half an hour?
I know, Sheena, I know.
Ages ago, Ben. You know what? They say time flies when you're enjoying yourself, and I always enjoy myself. You know, we just have... crafting should be fun.
Yes.
It should make you happy.
Yes.
Should make you laugh.
Yes.
It should take you away from the other stuff that we're all got to deal with.
Yes.
And I think if that's what it's coming across as, that's the way it should be, and that's how it is for me. And you know what? I'm there with you guys.
Amen to that. And I tell you what, we love working together, and one of your other absolute faves is with you tonight on the Hour Show between 6 and 7.
It's about the people.
Leek Coolhead.
We were telling that story again last night, both of us. Someone who hadn't heard this thing. Leek Coolhead? Is that really your name? And in front of a room of about 300 people, this poor woman was like, whoa, you know, her face was like nuclear meltdown red, kind of, you know, oh.
I was saying that to Debbie the other day, that we were talking about that story and she was retelling it, and I said it's one of those stories that I would never get bored of you telling, and it will make me laugh as much as on the 100th time as it did the first time you told it. It's so funny. Like
Brilliant, isn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, Debbie's with Sheena later on. I'm going to have a go at vision mixing, the 6 o'clock show. So if it all goes wrong camera-wise, you'll know who to blame. So that
could be a bit psychedelic then, Ben, couldn't it? Like, like a bad 80s pop video mix. Can you remember Max Headroom?
Oh, I remember Max Headroom.
Yeah.
That was like that was the 80s, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Oh dear.
Excuse me, everyone.
Anyway.
So what I've been doing, just so that it saves a bit of time, is, excuse me, I've been scribbling some colours that I think I'm going to use in this little guy here. I was going to do a monochrome stamp for you, but I thought, you know what, a lot of you love to see the colouring in, don't you? Because that's what the bit that you think, well, I'm not sure about the colouring in. So even if we get to not do anything else other than colour this little rabbit in half an hour, I think that might be a good use of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've chosen some colours that I think will work for this little guy well. And what I want is I want to do kind of more of a grey rabbit, and it's going to be based on Debbie's gorgeous card here, which is this one here. And I love it. It's really, really pretty and gorgeous, full colour. We're going to probably do it more pastel again, just so that it's a little bit of a different look. Because I think that you can see how we get, and I'll just explain how she got there. But these are the colours I've chosen to work with. And I'm just wetting these because they look great as they are, but when you add the water, it's like that magic colouring book thing we had when we were kids, you know. I used to love these, and I didn't get them as enough. I used to get proper sketchbooks and things, but I love the ones that looked like the page was white and then you added water to them and colour would appear. Did you have them, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely.
They were brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the palette. I do want to add a darker grey as well. Maybe that one, this one here we can work with. So I'm going to start with a rabbit, and I'm going to go with the, right, here's the thing. Look at my stamps. Now, what you'll see I've done is I've added texture for fur. So you can see that that's where the fur's going. This is the direction. Can you see where the lines change direction? Yeah, so they're going up around his eye, then they're coming down here off his cheek, then around there. So what I'm doing is I'm applying the pencil strokes, and I'm using quite a bit of pressure on this because I do want to put as much down as I can at the minute. I'm not being as careful on subtle application as I was earlier, because this is going to be a bit darker, this one. So I'm putting quite a bit of colour down I am using a bit of pressure, but the good thing is not all watercolour pencils are the same. Some have a very solid core. So when you do this, what's happening is it's not releasing the pigment from the pencil, it's etching into the card. So when you go to try and blend that away, which you might have done with some inferior quality pencils in the past, you think, well, what have I done wrong? It's not moving anywhere. I've still got this, looks like it's got, you know, embossed lines in it, and the pencil isn't blending out so that it just looks like watercolour. Yeah. Not your fault. It's just the nature, the makeup of the core of that pencil. Yeah. It's not soft enough. It needs to release the colour freely, happily, so that when it does come into contact with the card, you can then, it doesn't look like you've got that, that etched kind of look to it. Just talking about the pencils as well, Kendall's just messaged saying, I've used watercolour markers, but this will be the first time that I'll use pencils. Kendall goes on to say, when sharpening them, which way do you turn them so that they don't break? I mean, that is a good question. Yeah, it is a good question. So when you talk to Leanne, she will tell you, excuse me, this code's driving me crazy, to hold your pencil still and move the sharpener. Right. So to move the sharpener like this. So that's the better way to ensure that you don't break the core of your pencil. Okay. Now, this is not the best sharpener for this, but it's the one I had. But can you see, if you hold the pencil straight, move the sharpener, you get... I see. See how fine that point is? And don't think that you're wasting. It is worth sharpening the points every now and again, because, and even these little bits here that come off, you don't want the wood, but you can actually create a background by sprinkling them on a piece of wet card and see the colour burst like that as well. So lots of things you can do with them. Just finding my pencil again. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to now add a little bit of water to that little rabbit's face, and that should hopefully, we'll give him a slightly pink nose as well. Let's go like little light pink. Yeah, just a touch, not too pink. We don't want him to look like Rudolph the red-nosed
Rabbit.
hare. Oh, rabbit, yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to wet these areas that I've put the colour on and drag that colour out. But I do want to leave some white areas as well. So don't have the brush too wet. So what I'm doing, and you probably can't see, I should try and bring the water container into shot so you can see, I'm literally dipping the brush in the water and then straight onto a piece of paper. It could be kitchen paper, it could be like a microfiber cloth if you want to, you know, use something that, you know, is recyclable, that you just wash it again. I use that as well as the kitchen paper. And then notice though, I'm using the brush strokes going in the direction of the pencil lines I've drawn, so that I do want to retain a bit of that texture.
Yeah.
And that's how it looks more fur-like. You don't want it to look like a skating rink, because that wouldn't look like fur.
No.
So even with that first one pass of colour on there, you've already got that texture going on there, and we can layer that up like we did before with the other one. And that's what we're going to continue with now. So I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, and we'll start working on the centre of these daisies here, like this. Just go in the middles of all of these, like this. And just, so you see how quick, I'm just chunking up, just looking, and the good thing is, these are mostly daisies, so they're mostly white, but how do you colour white? You add a little bit of blue or a grey tone to it.
Okay,
Yeah, and that's how, and even the yellow in the middle, if you add a little bit of brown around kind of the bottom of those domes, it makes the centres look more conical, more like they've got some, not comical.
No,
Conical.
no, conical.
You ain't got to be laughing and splitting your sides at them. Not like us, boom, boom. But, yeah, but that's what you're going to do. And then I'm going to take this aubergine colour. We can do the blue, or we can do a purpley colour. I think that's quite pretty. And for the daisies now, I don't necessarily want them purple. So I'm just doing a little bit at the very base. Look at where I've got the more lines, because again, the lines are representing the veins in the petal, but they're also, where there's more of those veins in the petal, automatically shading the flower for you and telling you that's where you want to put a bit of darker colour, because that's where there's less light, okay, in the centre of those. So more, a little bit more there, not so much in the middle of the petal, because that's where the light's going to be catching. Maybe a touch at the end of them, at the edges, but not so much in the middle, and they're going to then look more white. So there's not as much colouring as you think in this one, because of them being, you know, daisies. And you can colour them any colour you want, because, you know, flowers are just basically, they're like an identikit flowers, aren't they? You get like a few basic petal shapes, and then what makes them individual to the flowers is how many of those petals there are.
I love the fact that you are showing this, because I always think people struggle to colour white, don't they?
You what, sorry, Ben?
People struggle to colour white.
Yes, because what you need is, you don't actually put the white down. What you do is you put the shadow down.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is representing the bit where there's no light, and that's where you would add usually a blue or a bluey grey, but you can use like a purpley tone as well if you want to make it a little bit warmer and pinkier, if you want to do that. Let's do a little bit of the foliage. Let's do a little bit of that, and then we'll add a little bit of water, because at the minute it's like, it's not the exciting bit, and I want to go ahead and do a bit of the bit where we add the water, because that's the bit that I always love to see, because that's when the colour pops with pigment colouring products, is when you add the water.
Yeah.
That's when the burst, those little you know, grains of pigment come to life. At the minute, the dry core doesn't look anywhere near the intensity of colour that it will once we add that little touch. So I'm going to pop a little bit of pink on these guys here, just to represent, and then we'll just put water on this bit, just in case we don't get it all done in the time we've got. You'll at least see how we can build it up with the bit that we've done. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
So let me show you how much water, how much I'm taking off here. So I'm dipping my brush in the water, right? And then I'm instantly dabbing it on the paper towel. So in the water and on the paper towel, because you need hardly any, okay? And because then you've got the control to just keep that darker area just where you want it, and it doesn't go where you don't want it to go. It doesn't run away from you. If you add a lot of water, then you can lose control of it, and that's great for a wet into wet technique, and that's a lovely look. But if you want control, you want to keep that shadow at the base of those petals, less water is better, because then it's just stay where you want it. Surprising how little water, how little moisture you need in the brush to get the pigment to move and to burst and to release the colour. Through the centres, can you see this, the colour all of a sudden just go boom in the centre of those flowers when you add that bit of water.
It's incredible. So many people loving watching this. Cindy says this just looks like magic when the water is added.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great fun. So bear in mind, this is just a really quick, first layer. What you can do with this is take your time. And the good thing is, even if you could do this kind of thing where you wouldn't normally take watercolour paints and pans and, for space, all you need is a little container with water and your pencils, and, so you could sit on a lap tray and do this, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Safely, without thinking, oh, I've got to redecorate the whole living room now. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we've got that going there. So you can see how that little guy's coming together already, and now what you can do is we can build on that, the texture on the bunny as well now. So if you want to add a little bit more depth of colour, we can now strengthen areas by going over, because this should now be starting to dry. And even if it's not at this stage, I'm not worried if you put the pencil marks in the direction of the hair, because if you colour, as I've said earlier, on a damp piece of card, those lines won't just be able to be, blended away. But with hair, with fur, that's sometimes a good thing. You want to keep that look going.
Look how lifelike that is. I mean, that texture of the fur is incredible. It's almost like photo-like what you're doing here. It's just amazing.
Thank you. And that's the secret. So I'm hoping that the lovely lady who said, I don't usually have much luck with, fur, with colouring in fur. If this is helping, then that's brilliant, because that's little tips like this is what we love to share, for sure. So we've got the little this little guy, and you know what, you can put water on that, or you can just leave that texture. Don't be tempted to always go back over with the water, because that's the beauty of pencils. You can layer up the texture if you want. What we can do is we can go back in with some colour on those flowers if you want to do that. We can add a little bit of deeper colour to the foliage now as well, with the greens, and pop that in.
Lots of love for this bunny as well. Michael says, love the bunny, beautiful. Karen Peterson said, seriously, I could listen to Sheena all day long. So talented, so informative, and a sweet soul.
Oh, bless you.
That's you, that is.
Oh, you know what? That's lovely. Thank you very much.
And as Nicola says, our producer, and she's really funny, like. She is a silly stutty, like.
Silly stotty.
And Dawn Braddock says, OM goodness, I'm loving this bunny and the daisies. There are some fantastic characters who you'll meet if you pick up this collection. It's proved a big hit, Sheena, which we're very happy about. It must be so pleasing for you as well as the brains behind it, because it must always be, I suppose it must be a bit of a panic as well, thinking, are people going to love this? Are people going to take to it?
It's so nerve-wracking. You've got no idea, because you're thinking, I love it, and this is months and months in the planning, and coming to you guys, so there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of belief in Crafters team behind the concept, a lot of work gone into it. And you think, oh God, I hope people do like it when it comes down to it, because, we just love what we're doing. And I think the thing is that's why we love sharing, because anything's only as good as you know what to do with it, isn't it? And if we haven't got this opportunity to share this with you, it's kind of got no value, because you just see it sitting there and think, what did that do with that again? What happens with that? But fortunately, we can do that, and we love doing that, and we like to do it with a bit of a lark and a bit of a laugh
We do,
and a good
and
spirit.
that's what it's all about. Bit of fun, a good spirit. You're absolutely right, and like we said, I think that's why people come back, because you can get all of the great products here, products like this, but then you go away with, you know, well, today, for example, 3 hours, because we'll be looking at this later on as well, 3 hours worth of hints and tips and techniques and ideas, and you can get your questions answered as well on the live shows. So plenty of reasons to shop with us, and plenty of you doing so. As I mentioned, just whilst we're watching Sheena, we've got only 15 minutes left on this show. I don't know where the time has disappeared to, but we're back tonight at 6, so 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, for a 1-hour show where Nicola wants to see the snail, Sheena.
The snail.
I don't know if that's
you want
on
to see
the list.
Brian? Let's make Brian feature then.
Yeah.
We've got to bring back, power to Brian.
Power to Brian, yeah.
Power to Brian.
Yes.
So what I'm doing now, guys, is with my pencils. There's another way you can use your pencils, and you can make a watercolour palette. So if I didn't want to take time to dry this card, and I didn't want the texture to stay, I can scribble like this onto my another piece of, like, watercolour card's a good card to use for this, and then pick the colour up like as if it was a a watercolour palette like this, and then just pop the colour. See how quickly I can apply that colour like that. So this is hopefully showing you how versatile these pencils are.
Good question over here from Cindy.
Yeah.
So she says, if you add marker on top of pencil, would that hide the pencil? She says, I know you can obviously add pencil over marker, but can you do it the other way round?
I wouldn't normally do it the other way around. I don't know if the alcohol ink would sit or lift on the pen, but definitely do it the other way around. I would just do it the other way around. You know you're good that way.
It adds that extra kind of
depth
to it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, for sure. Definitely do that. So we've got that, just intensifying the centres of those. We can pop a little bit more pink on these guys here just to make those pop a little bit more. But you know what? We're almost done there. I haven't even done anything to those white daisies because I don't think it needs it, to be honest. I think we've got enough colour there. What you can do is, if you have lost a little bit of highlight, you can pop a little bit of a white pen on his eyes and whatever. But what I am doing, I'm just picking up a little bit of this grey, like that, and I'm darkening this, because the thing is, this is going to be more in shadow down here, okay? And so by putting the colour on and then just putting a wash of this dark, I get brave with it. You see, it looks much more natural now because there'd be less light down there.
Yeah.
Because it's on the ground. And you could even put a little wash of grey at the bottom. You know what? There's even no harm in you bringing in, because it's all water-based, you could bring in your dye-based black there, and you can go more intense again by just going over with your pencil like that.
So good.
And then you've got more impact and drama. If you want to, basically what you're doing is, like, you know, when you used to, in the old days when you had the telly, you could increase the colour and the contrast and everything like that,
yeah.
So it's like you got the remote and you played around when your mum and dad weren't looking, and what does that do? I'll increase the contrast, I'll put the colour up, and they were like, whoa.
Yeah, because you had all the knobs on the telly to be able to do that, didn't you?
Absolutely, you used to have all that just to do now, yeah. Now
turn
it's
it from
like in a
colour to
menu.
black and white, and then, like you say, really like bright contrast.
Now it's a labyrinth within an enigma to try and find your controls for your telly, isn't it? It's like, I think they've hidden it from the mortals that buy the tellies now, because they know they're going to get themselves into trouble. Most you just don't go there unless you know what you're doing. So look, now by adding that little bit on top, so all, as I've said before, water-based products play nice together. If you want to make that even more impactful, look at what that's doing. Look at how that's popping out there now. See? Look at the daisies really pop. And then this little guy under his neck here, if you want to make this look more in shadow.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got that there like that. Like this. But the difference and the impact, I'm just going to blend that a little bit there. Bring that down there like that. And if you want to put some more texture, I've lost a daisy there, but you know what? That's where your white pen can come in again. But look at how much more drama and impact that's got now. It pops out a lot more, and I'm going to just make his eye a bit darker.
Just whilst we're watching, a few more comments. Bun Bun is beautiful, says Sherry Miller.
Thank you.
Is that what it's called, Bun Bun?
It is now.
Bun Bun. And also people are I know that not necessarily going to be a Garden Visitors 2, but if we do have a Garden Visitors 2, Kendall wants a deer.
Okay, a deer, yeah, gorgeous.
Lisa Beecham wants a badger.
Okay, all right, Lisa Beecham being on the team. Okay, she's earned it.
Then, any requests from the gallery at all? A bobcat? Okay.
Wow.
Kathy says, I've just had to purchase this gorgeous collection. It's perfect for Easter. I mean, if Bun Bun the rabbit here isn't perfect for Easter, I don't know what is.
Oh, it's perfect for Easter, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for the answers, Ben and Sheena, says Cindy Condy. And question from Pat, who says, I have a question. Can you also water dilute the metallic pencils? I've just realised that I have those also.
Metallic pencils. I think you can, from what I remember. I'm sure I did. You know what? I can't remember. There's that many crafters products. There's so many different metallic
I think you've done that previously.
I think I have, haven't I? Yeah, I'm sure I have. Yes, I did. I did. Get a bit of scrap paper.
Yeah.
And give it a try. I'm sure I did with that. I'm sure I did. So what I'm doing, this pen is, so this is the pen that you're either going to get in your Pro Sketch pack or your Bella Luna highlight kit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I said just get it because you're going to use it time and time again. And what you can do is you can put your little daisies that if you've lost them, put the little petals back in. If you kind of coat them with a little bit of your ink, and you've got that back in there. And so then what we're going to do, should we try this cool little new die cutting Gemini MIDI?
The Gemini MIDI, go on.
Yeah, because I can, because I'm going.
Yeah, exactly.
I need one. I need to get it in my life now.
I've got two. You can borrow one of mine.
Oh, cheers, Ben.
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
No worries.
Cheers. So what I'm going to do is I've got the die that comes with this little guy here, and I'm going to just make sure I've got everything around there like that. I did put them really close to the edge of the... I'm living close to the edge there, Ben.
Yeah, but, as you always are.
As I always am.
Danger crafting.
Yeah.
Dana wants a ladybug in the new collection.
A ladybug.
Yeah,
oh, yeah. We've got ladybug, yeah.
Yeah.
So this Gemini MIDI, yeah.
Come on.
Keep them all coming. What you want, we are here to provide. Exactly, to serve. Think of like...
To serve and protect.
Yeah. Did you see Genie, the film with Melissa, what's that face?
Oh, is that the Christmas movie?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, just think of us as your little crafty genies, if we can. There you go.
Did you enjoy that movie? Because I heard some bad reviews about it.
I prefer the original.
Oh.
Back in the day with Lenny Henry, if you can get it, well, it was really good. Yeah, because the guy who played the baddie in the new one was the goodie in the old one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So Gemini MIDI.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? No electricity needed. So for all you Alaskans off-grid or anywhere else, because I'm there with you, you know, I'm buying things. We bought an axe. I don't know why.
Naked, Afraid and Alone.
Absolutely.
This is for you.
I blame Discovery Plus, just saying. Yeah. You don't need power, but the good thing is as well, it's such a small footprint, and if you want it, it'll cut really good sized dies. Mine are always a really good size, and there's no plates to have to find. You get a folder, and that's all you do. You wind it through.
Simplicity without electricity.
No electricity. What trickery. And it's got a small footprint. It's got suction on the bottom, so it doesn't go anywhere until you move it. And you know what? It just literally... it's going to be small enough to leave out. Yeah. And I am that crafter. If something gets put away, I might think twice about if I'm going to use it. But if it's out there, yes, I will. So, yeah, loving that.
Susie says you've got to watch Life Below Zero as well.
Life Below Zero. OK, I'm going to try that one. You know what we're watching at the minute? And who would have ever thought? You know when you see something and you go, why would I even be remotely interested in that? And then you start watching it, and then you're into like series 7 of 14.
Yep. What is it?
Gold. What is it? Gold Rush. That's the one, Nicola. Gold Rush. That's the one we're now looking. We're up to series 8, I think.
What is that? Panning for gold.
It's panning for gold. Yeah. It is Discovery. I blame Discovery. And honestly, things that I thought I wouldn't even be interested in, well, we wouldn't be interested in, we're loving them. Go figure. I think it's the characters, you get to know them, and you're rooting for them. You go, oh, come on, find the big nuggets.
Find the big chunk.
Yeah, really. But that's that little guy we've just coloured in there in real time again. And so how are we for time?
We're nearly out of time.
Yeah, we ain't going to get the stencils. Should we want to see some more inspiration?
Let's do that before we finish, because we're nearly out of time.
Because we've got more that we haven't even shown you yet. Right, look.
You've got another hour later on with Leek Cornhead.
Yes, Leek Cornhead. Brilliant. Oh, honestly, you had to be. It was a Warmington type. That was it was a classic. But look, so if you're thinking if they've got to be big, huge cards, they don't. You can go smaller format. I love this little guy. Again, pastel, really cool. Don't know who this is. This is Karen's. Love it. Smaller format with a little bunny that we've just done there, so you can see how this little guy would fit over there that we just coloured. If you want to go more impactful colour, more subtle colour, all your call. We've got this foxy little chap here.
Yeah.
DL cards also fit in
the
DL.
way you've coloured the fox in almost looks like a wolf now.
A wolf.
Could be wolf fox.
It's a wolf.
Fox wolf.
A wolf, yeah, absolutely. Depending on how you colour them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Brian.
Brian.
There's the wolf in the kind of a jungle kind of setting.
Yeah, jungle wolf. Jungle fox.
We've got, I love the colours in this. Gorgeous. Look at the gorgeous, gorgeous colours there. So look at how different they're going to look with the different colour images. And look, bit of bling. Look at this.
Yeah.
So get your little glittery accents in there as well. Mirror card, great with this.
Why not?
Lisa's beautiful. And then if you want to go, again, this is wax pencils. It looks like wax pencils. Fabulous. Whatever you like to colour in with, these guys are going to work for you. End of. So, whatever your enjoyment is.
Sheena makes it look so easy, says Terry Branch. But hopefully you'll be able to watch your show once you've got your garden visitors home. You will be able to replicate what you're seeing. As far as other items in garden visitors too, Dana Hill wants a praying mantis.
Whoa.
And Georgina Smith would like a frog.
Oh, a frog would be cute. Yeah, the frog.
The bunny looks like a photograph. Absolutely beautiful, says Hannah Furnace. And Dawn says, firstly, daisies were my grandmother's very favourite flower. So every time I see them, I smile and think of her. Thank you. Watching Sheena paint this lovely bunny is so relaxing, and I can always use more instruction on fur colouring. If you don't keep colouring animal fur, you lose it. What a great show. Thank you for the answers, Ben and Sheena. And Kathy's bought this saying I had to purchase this gorgeous collection. Are we looking at the photos before the end of the show, did you say? Let's quickly have a look, because we did mention that you guys have sent in lots of photos. So Jane, thank you. This is a black squirrel, Sheena.
Okay, cool. Wow.
Okay.
They're like silhouette squirrels, aren't they?
They are. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, and hang on a minute. Oh, sorry. This next picture, I thought you'd captured a butterfly flying across.
A giant butterfly.
But that's butterflies on like a little...
That's its typical squirrel pose. It's so cute, isn't it? They look really sweet.
He's having a little snack there. And Sarah, this is what I'm talking about. Look at the size of this kangaroo. That is massive.
Really big. Yeah, if he wanted to eat anything in the garden, go ahead, mate. It's all yours.
Yeah. It lives in her sister's back garden, apparently.
If he wanted to move in, I'd move out. Yeah, I won't messing with him.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And lastly, I think, oh, look at this. Oh, there's more. Rosalind Russell.
I love that.
Absolutely
Very
beautiful.
art. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Oh, Lillian, a snail on a snail.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yes.
It's like a snail bus for snails.
Snail bus for snails.
Oh, I love it.
And then lastly, that picture of the squirrel there is, as you said earlier on, that's with the Mission Impossible music, isn't it?
Because
it's about to go ding, ding,
yeah,
ding,
absolutely.
ding.
He's got a mission, and he's chosen to accept it, Ben.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Thank you, Sheena. Great show, as always. Love your inspiration, says Nanny to the girls. Thank you, everybody, for all of your lovely comments. The garden visitors will be back in an hour's time. Debbie's going to be this side. Of course, Sheena will be providing the inspiration that side for you. If there's anything that you want to see, do feel free to fire those questions in. But it's the showstopper that you need to be grabbing. It has proved so super popular. Grab it whilst you can, because remember, you get all of the brand new stamps, dies and stencils, and you also get a set of your Aquablend pencils in the portrait, plus your cardstock, just for an extra £5 or $10. So it really is worth getting that. Check it out, come back and enjoy the final hour at 6 o'clock this evening with Debbie and Sheena. And until then, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in an hour. Bye for now.